Do you ever feel like a supporting character in your own movie? Day after day, you play the role of the reliable friend, the responsible employee, the caring family member. You say yes when you want to say no. You give away your time and energy until your own inner battery starts flashing red. And then, in the silence, when you're finally alone with yourself, you ask the question, where am I in all of this? We live in a world that constantly demands our attention, our reaction, our involvement. And if you're not careful, you can quietly become the sum of other people's expectations. But there is an ancient wisdom that offers not just a solution, but an entire operating system for the mind in situations like these. It's called Stoicism. And no, Stoicism isn't some dusty, ancient doctrine about suppressing your emotions. Imagine your mind is a ship in the raging ocean of life. Stoicism is the captain's manual for that ship. It doesn't teach you how to stop the storm. That's impossible. It teaches you how to hold the helm firmly, how to set the sails correctly, and how to guide your ship to its destination, despite the wind and the waves. By the end of this video, you will have not just theory, but 3 specific navigational tools from the Stoics. 3 situations where putting yourself first isn't selfishness, but a necessary condition to keep your ship from sinking. Situation 1. When you're judged by someone else's standards. We live in a giant hall of distorted mirrors. Social media, our boss's expectations, our parents' ideas of success. These are all warped reflections demanding that we conform. We start measuring our worth in likes, in praise, in promotions. Our self-esteem becomes a ghost that feeds on external approval. But what happens when that approval disappears? The ghost starves, and we feel worthless. Think of Marie Curie. She worked in a world where science was considered a man's domain. The Parisian Academy of Sciences rejected her twice, despite her revolutionary discoveries. The press attacked her for her origins and her personal life. If her goal had been external approval, she would have broken. But her compass was set differently. Her worth wasn't defined by the opinion of academics, but by the truth she sought in her laboratory. She put her mission first, her internal standard of scientific integrity. And in the end, the world was forced to recognize her genius, not the other way around. The Stoics would call this focusing on your internal locus of control. The external world, opinions, likes, criticism, is outside our control. Trying to manage it is like trying to conduct the weather. The only things we have power over are our own principles, our own actions, and our own practical step. The next time you feel that pang of anxiety from someone else's opinion, stop, pause, and ask yourself just one question. Whose approval am I seeking right now? And why is it more important than my own self-respect? This question is the first step towards shattering the distorted mirrors and seeing your true reflection. Situation 2. When you're drowning in other people's problems. There is a rescuer inside each of us. We see a friend going through a tough breakup, a colleague buried in work, a relative complaining about life, and we rush to help. We listen, we advise, we take on their tasks. We want to be useful. We want to be good. But there's a fine line between helping and self-destruction. Imagine a lighthouse on a rocky shore. Its job is to shine a light, to guide ships through the storm, to warn them of danger. But a lighthouse doesn't rip itself from its foundation and dive into the waves to tow every ship to harbor. If it did, it would be smashed against the rocks, and everyone else would be left in darkness. Too often, we try to be a lifeboat for everyone around us, not a lighthouse. We take on their pain, their responsibility, their duties. Eventually, our own boat starts sinking under the weight, and we can no longer help ourselves or anyone else. Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing, was surrounded by a sea of suffering during the Crimean War. She could have simply comforted dying soldiers one by one, exhausting herself emotionally. But she put the system first, not just immediate aid to everyone. She said no to unsanitary conditions, no to the incompetence of army officials, and, risking her reputation, she pushed for systemic changes that saved thousands of lives. She was a lighthouse, not just a lifeboat. Practical step. When someone comes to you with their problem, before you rush to solve it, define your role. Ask yourself, is my job here to be a container for their emotions, a solver of their tasks, or simply to shine a light like a lighthouse, offering support but not taking the helm of their ship? Learning to say no to someone else's responsibility is learning to say yes to your own well-being. Situation 3. When the world around you descends into chaos. A canceled flight, a sudden illness, an economic crisis, a toxic comment online. Our lives are full of events that barge in uninvited and turn everything upside down. The first instinctive reaction is anger, panic, despair. We start fighting against what has already happened, wasting a colossal amount of energy resisting reality. Imagine your mind is a glass of clear water with a layer of sand at the bottom. The sand is your inner values, your calm, your clarity. Chaotic external events are like shaking that glass. The water instantly becomes cloudy. You can't see anything. It's pointless to try to stop the shaking. That's outside your control. The only thing you can do is set the glass down on a flat surface and let the sand settle. This is exactly what Stoicism teaches us. Not to fight the storm, but to find an anchor within ourselves. The great Stoic principle of the dichotomy of control says, divide everything in the world into two categories: what you can control and what you can't, and direct 100% of your energy only toward the first. Think of Atticus Finch from the novel To Kill a Mockingbird. He couldn't control the racial prejudice of an entire town. He couldn't control the unjust verdict of the court. He couldn't control the hatred of the mob. But he could control his actions, how he would defend his client, the dignity with which he would accept defeat, and the values he would pass on to his children. He put his integrity first, not victory. And that is what made him unbreakable. Practical step. When something bad happens, take a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. On the left, write what I cannot control in this situation. On the right, what I can control. Fill out both lists. Then mentally burn the left side. All of your power, all of your energy is on the right. We've looked at 3 situations where the outside world tries to take the helm from us. Other people's opinions, other people's problems, and chaotic events. In all of them, Stoicism offers the same answer. Bring the focus back to yourself, not out of selfishness, but out of wisdom. Your inner world is a garden. You can't control the weather. There will be droughts and hurricanes, but you can tend to the soil. Pull out the weeds of others' opinions, water the seeds of your own values, and build a sturdy greenhouse to protect yourself from the storms. Stoicism teaches you to be the gardener, not the meteorologist. Because only from a well-tended, strong garden can you share your fruits with others. And here is your first exercise, right now. After this video ends, don't rush to the next one. Just sit in silence for 5 minutes. Close your eyes and think of one thing that is worrying you right now, but that you have absolutely no control over. Then, as you exhale, mentally let it go. Just allow it to be, without fighting it. This is the first, most important step on the path to becoming the captain of your ship. Thank you for taking this journey with me.